Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to Omega Online Academy. This is teacher Abdullah Jawi for the ACT Science. So we're gonna just take an examples of how to solve the most amount of questions with a few amount of time. Because in the ACT Science it's 40 questions, you need to solve them within 35 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna just solve some examples here, show you the way how to solve these questions. Okay, so let's take an example at the passage 1 and take question number 1. Okay, first of all, we need to check the question because for sure we're not gonna have the time to read the whole passage and the experiments. The time will run out, guys. So here we're gonna check the question, or what does the question need from us. Okay, so here the question says, like, suppose that in a new experiment the researchers repeated experiment 3 except that they recorded the color of each cricket eaten by a spider during 2 hours. Focus on 2 hours. Okay, assuming that the spiders ate crickets for the entire 2 hours, would the total number of crickets eaten by spiders more likely have been less than or greater than the total number of crickets eaten in experiment 3? Okay, let's check the 2 hours and focus on the 2 hours, and let's go to each experiment. Okay, in experiment 1, we see here the spiders were eating for what during 1 hour. In experiment 2, the same 1 hour. Okay, in experiment 3, the same is 1 hour. Okay, let's go back to the question. So the question says, would the total number of crickets eaten by spiders more likely have been less than or greater than the total numbers of crickets eaten in experiment 3? So in experiment 3, it's 1 hour also. Okay, so for sure, if it's from 1 hour to 2 hours, the time gonna be what? Gonna be doubled, right? Gonna have the double of time. So here we're gonna, in the choices from A, B, C, and D, we're gonna skip anything says less. So A says less, we're gonna skip it, ignore it, and B say less, so we're gonna ignore it. So we have C and D saying greater. Let's read C and D. C said greater because the amount of time the spider spent eating crickets would have been 2 times as great. D says greater because the amount of time the spider spent eating crickets would have been 3 times as great. Okay, since it's 2 hours, so for sure it's not gonna be 3 times, it's gonna be 2 times. So the correct answer is gonna be what? Gonna be C. Okay. Let's try another question, or let's take a question number 5. Okay, and question number 5 says, each of the values plotted in figure 1 was most likely calculated using which of the following expressions? Let's read the choices before we go to the question. A, total number of crickets that were eaten by laboratory-raised spiders over number of laboratory-raised spiders, or B, total number of crickets that were eaten by wild-caught spiders over number of wild-caught spiders, or C, number of crickets of a particular color that were eaten by laboratory-raised spiders over number of laboratory-raised spiders, or D, number of crickets of a particular color that were eaten by wild-caught spiders over number of wild-caught spiders. Okay, let's go back to figure 1 and check about the total number of crickets and the raised spiders. Okay, so in the figure 1, as you see, guys, in figure 1, here, as you see, we have different colors of crickets: red, yellow, brown, green, and blue. Okay, so here we're not talking about the whole cricket, we're talking about specific colors. 5 different colors: red, yellow, brown, green, and blue. Okay, what about the spiders? In the experiment 1, which belongs to figure 1, Okay. It's talking about, guys, jumping or Perithix jumping spider that had been recently captured from what wild? So wild caught. So here we have two things. First, specific colors of crickets, and we have spiders that being caught from the what? Wild. Okay, let's go back to the question. So the question, we need to focus on two things about, or we need to pick the choice that mentioned total number of crickets of a particular color, specific color or particular color, and over number of laboratory raised or not raised number of spiders that been caught from the wild. Okay, so A, total number of crickets that were eaten by laboratory raised spiders, that's gonna be skipped. Why? Because it's talking about all the crickets. B, total of number of crickets that were eaten by wild-caught spiders. Okay, over the number of wild-caught spiders. Also, it's talking about the whole crickets. C, number of crickets of a particular color that were eaten by laboratory-raised spiders. Over number of laboratory-raised spiders, we can skip it. Why? Because talking about the laboratory-raised spiders, not caught in the wild. While D, number of crickets of a particular color that were eaten by wild-caught spiders over number of wild-caught spiders. So the correct answer gonna be D for sure, because it mentions the two factors that we need to pick the correct answer. Thank you guys, and hope to see you again inshallah in Omega Online Academy.